Welcome back to another episode of Mouth Matters with Dr. Dom. Dr. Dom here, and this may be the most important and most special episode we're ever going to do because we have my own mother, Ann Lombardi, with us today. So, Ma, I want to thank you for coming in.
You're welcome, Dom.
So, not only is she my mother, my shrink, my and everything else in between, she's also my dental assistant. She worked for 32 years as a nurse?
34.
34 years as a nurse?
34 years as a registered nurse, and 32 of those years I delivered babies. I worked in maternity and delivering babies, labor and delivery, nursery, taking care of new moms after they've delivered.
And the most poignant thing my mother ever said to me, it was at I think the age of 11, she said, there is no cure for herpes.
Wow. I said some things are forever.
And
babies and herpes are two of them.
Babies and herpes are two of them. So I still don't have any of those. So that's great. Not that maybe that's talk for table, but there are no limits when it comes to my mother. So I just wanted to highlight that. I
told Don when he was a young boy that I would always tell him the truth. So it's important to connect with a child and let them know that you're always on their side. So when that conversation was probably from what he heard at school, and I followed up with a little bit of the truth. So I've always told him the truth, and the truth is now is it's wonderful to work with you, Dom, and I'm really happy to be around.
Well, Ma, what's cool is that, that whole idea of the truth, and when you're next to me, I know that when I'm talking to a patient, all we have to offer is the truth, and all we have to offer is the evidence. And when we're sitting there and I'm talking about whatever it is, this patient has this floss will get stuck here, this feels a certain way. Then my mom will be like, yeah, what's this now and that, because she's still learning about dentistry, and being a nurse isn't a direct translation.
Patients are patients. That's the main thing. When patients would come to the hospital to deliver their babies, they were always scared. They were always anxious. So when people come here to the dental office, it's pretty much the same. Patients have fears, they have anxieties, and there's a lot of fear coming into the dentist office because so many people have really bad stories and they come in visibly shaken. And I think my experience with working with patients over the years just carries over to the patients that we have here.
So one of the things that my mother and I like to do when we're trying to diffuse some anxiety, fear, whatever, is our song selection for the day and our type of music. I have an eclectic opinion of music, palette of music, whatever you want to say, and my mother does as well. However, she gets her way most of the time. And
I like Barry Manilow.
Barry Manilow. I knew I wouldn't even have to say his name.
So we have Pandora, and I usually will ask the patient if they have a particular song selection or venue, whatever that they'd like
Looks
to
like
hear.
We made it.
Yes. Yeah.
Or the Carpenters.
We like the Carpenters. We like James Taylor.
Commodores.
Oh, we love the Commodores. We love the Commodores. Yes.
So it's fun. It helps me get through my day too, because when we're dealing with the anxieties of patients, we're also taking on that you can feel the nerves in the room. So it helps us dispel what we're feeling. I wanted to get into a question that we had come in online. It was from Matthew M, and he wants to know if he really has to replace all those silver fillings in his mouth with the tooth color fillings. It's a great question. This is a topic I could probably go on for an hour about, but for our interests here, I'm going to keep it simple. So my mother is a great example. She has some silver fillings in her mouth that she got when she was younger, just a couple years ago when she was an adolescent, and that's the best they had then. The problem with silver fillings is that they expand over time, meaning that they're taking on water because of their zinc content. Zinc is known as a water scavenger, and when a material takes up water, it's naturally the volume of that substance is going to get bigger. So if we have a tooth here. Here's a cusp. Here's a cusp. And in the middle, if everybody who's just listening in, if you can imagine almost like a half pipe, and in the middle is the silver filling. That silver filling in the middle is expanding, so something has to give. Either the filling has to pop out, right, or it's going to crack the tooth. So those are the real reasons that if I was going to replace a silver filling, that's what I would do. However, if the filling's in there and there's no decay and the edges of it are smooth and we don't see that there are any cracks or any fracturing of the teeth, then I say leave it until further notice. Unless you're having an issue where you open your mouth widely and laugh and people can see them and that bothers you. That's, how you feel about yourself and your self-image matters, obviously, and that would be a good enough reason to get them replaced. But
you won't see any silver fillings on somebody like Giada De Laurentiis.
That's right.
She has a big smile, and she's not going to show any of that silver. But for most of us...
She's your twin, Ma.
I do have a twin. I do have an identical twin.
That's right, she is an identical twin.
And we're confused very often. So she doesn't have... In fact, she came in to help Dom's aunt when she needed some weekend attention. And Aunt Kimmy...
She didn't handle it as well as you do.
Yeah, she don't like this.
So if you're out and about and you see a beautiful looking woman that looks like my mother, and she doesn't say hi to you or doesn't respond when she says, "Hey, are you
not giving you the love?
Are you Ann Lombardi?" That she'll say hi, but then she'll correct you and say, "That's actually my twin."
That's actually my twin.
Ma, I just wanted to give you an opportunity, and I feel that in any relationship, whether it's with our online community or in person, vulnerability is key to building relationships. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to tell any story you'd like about my youth, adolescence, or young adulthood for our friends at home.
Wow.
Her mind is racing with anything she could say if it's rated R or PG.
Okay, so here's a great story about Dom. He's a really terrific, patient, kind person. When he was 5, Aunt Kimmy, the twin, and I took him to Florida. We wanted to get a little time away for just Dom. Dom has a disabled sister. She has cerebral palsy. Her name's Julie, and she's the center of our family. Everything.
She's the mortar of the bricks.
She really is. But we wanted to give Dom just some time that he could do whatever he wanted, not held back by Julie's disability. She's unable to walk or talk. So we took him to Universal Studios in Florida. And we got there thinking, this is great timing. Spring break is over, the Easter break is over. It's not going to be that busy. So it's the end of April, it's Dom's birthday, and we pull into Universal half an hour before the parks to be open. And there are thousands of buses. It was the day that all the kids take their field trip to the amusement parks.
This is back in the days of the Walkman, so all the kids were walking around with their Walkmans.
Personal CD players, backpacks, and we were in line for everything. And it was before Fast Pass, so we're in line, and it's taking forever. And finally one of the ride attendants said, "You're not with the schools, are you?" I said, "No," and I explained what we were doing. He said, "Let me help you." So we ended up getting
great day. I still remember
what they called Fast Pass. And we got to see all the attractions 2 and 3 times. So at the end of the day, I said, "Dom, what was your favorite part about Universal?" And he said, "Mommy, at the end of every line, there's a ride."
The eternal optimist.
It is. And that's how he looks at so much of in his life, is that there's something good to be had in everything. And if you look for good, then you're going to find it. So that's other than his tennis shoes.
Oh, yeah.
Other than his tennis shoes, these are.
I chose these tennis shoes for this episode because these are the Air Jordan 1s. These are the ones that started it all, with Nike becoming the sneaker powerhouse that they are. And since these are the originals, the OGs, the original gangsters, this is the original gangster in my life. So I wanted to echo that. Plus, they were probably the least expensive of any of the pairs of shoes I have, which my mother loves.
I would have cleaned them up for you, Dom, if I had known you were wearing them today.
Oh no, the road these shoes have taken are widely traveled. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to. We'll leave it all on there.
Right.
So this has been wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that, Ma. I wanted to give you the chance to explain to people the difference, kind of switching gears, the difference you see in people before and after a cosmetic procedure.
Wow. It's
because she gets a front row seat. Here from me, it's like you expect me to hear good things from me.
Right. The first big case I saw him do was one. He actually was able to do some work for me, and he said, "Mom, pay attention to this one. This is what I'm going to do to you." And I'm like, "Oh God."
She did get some cool work, by the way.
I'm nervous. I'm nervous. And I happened to know the woman that he was working with, and I saw him do this work, and I thought, "Wow, this is pretty cool stuff." Since then, I've seen really, really big cases where people have required a lot of dental
functional cosmetic work.
Right.
So you have
extractions.
You have people with decay. You have people with disease. But at the same time, we have enough foundation there
to do something big. So can we tell our story? Or you
can tell the story. Go ahead.
I'm going to tell this story. So we had a gentleman, middle-aged man, who came in and literally, people come in covering their mouths because they're so embarrassed. They're worried. They're embarrassed. Whatever has taken them so long to get here is evident in their smile or lack of. So we've had people that we have to tell, when you walk in this door, you're in the no judgment zone, because we don't care what happened before. We do care. We care what happened before. But what we care about is that you've taken the step, you've come to our office, and we're gonna make big changes with you. Not just for you, but with you, because it takes.
You want to tell them the engagement, the re-engagement story?
That's
fantastic.
So this gentleman,
get out your tissues.
This gentleman had he had good strong teeth, but they'd been kind of weathered over time, so they were looking tired. And
we did the work.
He
got them done, and then he got down on his knee.
His wife came into the room, and he got down on his knee, and he smiled at her and said, "Would you marry me again?" And crying, and I'm crying, and it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. And at the end of it all, she said, "Till death do us part."
Oh.
And I it's the most gratifying thing, the rebirth of this person, and so many of our patients, they come in really scared, and they're meek, and kind of like a baby coming into the world. They're very dependent, and and then all of a sudden, they're happy, and they're smiling, and it's just a new life for them, because they have this new smile is a gateway to.
You know what I was thinking about, Ma? Just because I was taken aback by how good you look today. Can we take a moment to look at my mother's get up here? I'm colorblind, full disclosure. Obviously, can we get a close up here?
Oh no, I'm sweating.
Can we get it's not HD, it's fine.
Okay.
So we obviously has a beautiful smile, but I want to go a little bit lower and highlight the color palette in these jewels with her outfit.
Oh, thanks, John.
She learned. What's your new favorite word?
I'm not sure.
You're on.
Oh, on fleek. Oh, right. Does anybody else know what on fleek means? What I've learned is that word can be used in different ways. We've made it into a verb.
Many conjugations.
You're fleeking, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're fleeking. On fleek. What else?
You could say fleeky.
You're fleeky, adjective. So I'm
You're
a
walking
person
fleekily?
Walking fleekily. Well, we had a patient the other day that hadn't heard the term, and she speaks Spanish, and she is a PhD prepared instructor of Spanish, and she said...
And we translated it.
We translated, so...
I can't remember what it was.
Muy guay.
Muy guay.
It's very cool.
My muy guay mother, thank you so much. This means the world. Thank you so much, Matthew, for your question online. So my answer to you is go see your dentist or come to me, and I'll tell you whether or not those silver fillings need to go if you need something checked out. Once again, please continue to engage with us, ask us any questions, anything you might be interested in. Website, lombardismiles.com, YouTube channel, Dr. Dom TV, drdomtv.com, all the what we're doing on Lombardi Smiles Facebook page, Lombardi Smiles Instagram. Get in touch with us. Can't wait to hear from you. Thank you so much. Love you, Mom.